Penguin, episode 7, after I've just got back from Vegas, quite eloquently named Top Hat, which, ta-da, I happen to acquire. This one's a little ridiculous, but I think it'd be pretty apt for this review. Let's go. Well, the episode kind of starts out, Penguin episode 7, I should say, with, Penguin as a child. We've only seen, I think, like one glimpse of him as that. And it shows a little bit of his history, which I actually really liked with this episode, because usually in penultimate episodes, if people don't know what penultimate means, that's usually the second to last episode. Anyways, that's what this one is. It's usually the episode that does like all the really cool stuff, and then the 8th episode is like a drag out to possibly lead on to a second season. This episode does not do that. It starts out with him as a little kid with his brothers, and it kind of shows that he's a mama's boy. He's the middle child. If people don't know what the middle child syndrome is, well, maybe you don't have siblings or whatever, but it's like, the oldest is like the bright and shining star. The middle child, when they are born, is also great until they have the youngest. And then the middle child kind of tends to be forgotten. That's what they kind of are playing on here a little bit. If you haven't seen something like that, they do that a lot in TV shows. And also, if you've lived it, you would know it. Anyways, they go on about that. Sorry, let me just fix that a bit because I think I just look extra ridiculous. Just want to continue to look ridiculous. Anyways, they go on about that, and it shows that his mom doesn't really trust him to do all this stuff because his leg is like a bummed leg. So he's actually born with that. It wasn't something that really happened to him. At least that's implied, that he's kind of just born with a bummed leg. And so they got to go about that. Nobody really treats him differently or anything. But him and his brothers go on a little journey to go play a game before it starts to rain. While they're going to do that, it shows that his older brother is attached to the gangster that he kind of idolized in the first episode. So there's not really much connection there other than his brother liked that guy, so he thinks that he likes that guy, but he doesn't really like that guy. It's a whole thing. I don't think there's really too much depth behind that. They continue on. They go on to go play a game, and then they play a thing called flashlight tag. I've never heard of that. I've heard of freeze tag and tag, whatever. Never heard of flashlight tag. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that cool of a kid. Never heard of that. They go about their journey and, not journey. They go about their game. And his brothers run away from him, and he ends up trapping them to kind of get back at them for running away from him. And then he leaves them there. So there's two different contexts of this thing, and I think both of them are valid. One, he purposely left them there because he wants to be with his mom alone. He wants to be the only child, and he wants his mom to only like him. The other thing is he's just a forgetful child. More likely, it seems like he's actually pretty brutal, and he doesn't give a crap. Anyways, from there, it cuts from that into later on. The Penguin returns, and Vic is knocked out. So while Vic is knocked out, he obviously wakes him up, and then he sends him for an army. He's like, hey, you got to go get an army, because Salvador's people are showing up. Like, a bunch of cars pull up outside where Sophia obviously kidnapped his mom, and then Vic goes out the fire escape And then you don't see Vic for the rest of the episode, but he does send him from an army, or what he calls an army. That could be really interesting in episode 8. We'll see. And then Penguin's like, hey, I'm just going to take it like a man. Let's go for it, which I kind of appreciate. I thought that was pretty baller. But what happens is Salvatore shows up, and, obviously he just torched Salvatore's family. Like, it was brutal. Not great. And luckily he only gets hit a couple times, and then Sophia's men kind of keep him from that. And then he gets to talk to Sophia about an exchange. The exchange is like his operation for Penguin's mother. All right, fair enough. More likely they probably keep beating him or whatever. And then it cuts to Sophia having Penguin's mom. And this part was hilarious. It was great. I actually thought it was phenomenal. It made me like Penguin's mom even that much more, because she is like 100% on board with her son. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was really funny, because it's like you're up against like a brutal mob boss whose nickname is the Hangman, and she is very aware at this point, even though she's somebody who goes in and out of like awareness. She's aware, and she's like, fuck it, let her ride. And she just goes for it. It's like everything Sophia throws at her, she's just like, fuck you, whatever. And it's just literally slaps her at one point. It's just like, she's just like, no, let it go. Because she's realizing that as she's talking to her, that Penguin's mom she's not all there. And she's just like, she's trying to realize she can use that to her advantage. But it's like the exchange and all this that happens, it's like it's hard to explain without like seeing the video. And as much as I would like to play the videos, even though I have like not that big of a channel, like I played like a couple clips one time on the little bit that I do here, and they got copyright hit, and I was like, I got like 10 people watching me, who the hell cares? So whatever. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to abide by the YouTube rules. Anyways, back to that. It shows that Penguin's mom is a straight up savage. Like, she does not care until Sophia brings up her kids, and then she sees that trigger break in her. So she calls the therapist friend of hers, the really creepy dude from Sons of Anarchy, Dr. Rush. I don't know his first name, but Dr. Rush. That guy is... everything about him's awful. Whatever. Anyways, it cuts to a scene later where it shows that like he's like kind of hypnotizing her, and it makes me kind of think that he actually got through with the hypnotization, and we might see that come through on episode 8, and his mom is going to do something a little wonky. I don't know. Stab him or something. Like, oh yeah, you can have your mom back, and like snap her fingers, and all of a sudden she just shanks him or something. I have no idea. Anyways, this hat is ridiculous. So is my hair. Anyways, so yeah, they go about that, and then Penguin ends up bringing Sal down to the operation, like his main operation is the underground operation, where in theory Sophia is supposed to bring his mom, and they're going to do an exchange. And during that, Penguin sets off like a chain of events where everybody starts fighting and shooting at each other, and then he starts fighting Salvatore, and they're thrown down like blow for blow. And then I have a feel it seems like he died of a heart attack, but I have a feeling that like when Penguin actually hits him, and where his wound was, where he got stabbed, that sent like enough jolt to trigger the heart attack, and he didn't realize that. that's my theory on that. I mean, it probably is not going to be brought up, or it doesn't really matter. But that's what it looked like. Because I was like, how do you just get into a fist fight other than being exerted? It looked like he hit him where he got stabbed. And so that would make a little bit more sense. And so after the heart attack, Penguin's like, all right, get ready. Like, things are about to go down. And Sophia sends a car down. Well, before she sends a car down, we get a scene where she's dealing with her niece. And or she's supposed to deal with her niece because her niece has apparently been talking about how, she saw a mask in the bag to implement her as, well, actually, maybe it wasn't a gas leak. Maybe she killed them all. So she goes there and doesn't quite threaten her niece, but it's a threatening manner. So, but she likes her niece because her niece is just as messed up as she is, especially now after all that. So there's a lot of different little things going on there. I don't know how much of they're going to resolve with all of this in the last episode. I assume both Penguin and Sophia will kind of get out of it. Not unscathed, by the way, but they'll be messed up. But I have heard theories that in the next Batman movie, Sophia might actually be in it, which I almost wish I didn't hear that beforehand, because that would imply that she doesn't die. But it could also be a rumor, so we shall see. And then after all that with her and her niece, she's supposed to exchange Oz's mom with basically the operation. It's like, give me my mom, you can have everything. And so she sends a car down. It was pretty obvious in my opinion. It was just like, oh, you could have just sent a car down and just like threw a brick on the wheel and just thrown it down there, because the guy gets out and he runs out and then Oz walks up to it. And it's like, why would you walk up to this so slowly? So that was a little weird, because up to this point, they've been relatively smart with all the shenanigans that are around. This was not the smartest move, but whatever. It had to put the story forward. Anyways, the bomb is massive, and he ends up hiding in what looks like the same place that he kind of like he runs away in the underground tunnels that they're at, where they're growing the shrooms. And it looks like he hides in the same place that he might have trapped his brothers, or it's implied that it looks like that. And it's like, so the same place that he killed his brothers in is the same place that saved him. And then when he comes out, one of Sophia's men grab him. And that's basically the end of the episode. But they kind of went back to the first couple episodes where the first thing that you see comes full circle, and they end with something relative to that, which I liked a lot. And also, like I said at the beginning of this, when a penultimate episode is not the be-all, best-of-all type of thing, I actually really prefer that. So it makes me think that episode 8, if it keeps going the way it's going, it needs to be a banger. It's going to be massive. It's going to be huge. I'm looking forward to it. I hope everyone else is. If you guys have watched this, it's kind of just it's a review. It's a summary-ish. I'm just getting back into the flow of things. I was trying to do some editing on this, and none of it was working out. So if you watched this long, thank you very much. If you even clicked on it, thank you. Hit a like, subscribe. I will be doing more videos a lot more frequently, and also probably without this stupid top hat. Anyways, thanks guys. You have a good one. Peace out. Bye.